with, once again, COVID. So the Joe Biden administration is, they're not my favorite. So ignore this guy in the bow tie. I'm not watching this video. But Biden administration will stop buying COVID-19 vaccines, treatments, and tests as early as this fall. When is fall again? Oh, right. Fall is next month. Okay. Huh. So let's skip this guy in the bow tie. I'm sure he's a great person, but the Biden administration has been planning for how to get past the crisis phase of the COVID-19 pandemic. Reminder, Joe Biden ran on stopping COVID dead in its tracks. He declared victory 5 times, and all right, I guess we're done again. Why not, right? It's not like, I don't know, we're having hundreds of people die in this country every day. No. It's not like, there's a pandemic going on or anything, and, we stopped doing contact tracing as if we did it in the first place anyway. It's not like, we stopped doing testing, data collection, No. I mean, if you look at wastewater testing, it appears that we are in the middle of a giant crisis surge. So, what better time to declare victory once again? Isn't that great? Quote, one of the things we've spent, this is the fucking COVID-19 response coordinator, Ashish Jha. One of the things we've spent a lot of time thinking about in the last many, many months. And we're going to continue this work, and you'll hear more from the administration on this, is getting us out of the acute emergency phase, where the U.S. government is buying the vaccines, buying the treatments, buying the diagnostic test, Jha said, in an event sponsored by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce! I mean, I love this shit. Okay, so the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, like a far right-wing fucking organization that basically, tries to cement capitalist trickle-down economics into our society. So the fucking guy in charge of COVID goes there for some reason. I don't know. Right? And it's like, don't worry, we're going to stop buying the tests. But guess what? Private companies get to buy the tests. Isn't that wonderful? Private companies will increase their prices. Hello, Chamber of Commerce. I have great news for you today. Again, this is I love it. My hope is that in 2023, you're going to see the commercialization of all of these products as if that's a good thing. Isn't that great? So the COVID-19 response coordinator, this is the guy who directly talks to Joe Biden about COVID-19. The commercialization is coming, everybody. What? What? The one good thing the government did during this pandemic was provide free vaccines and free tests. That was it. And now they're like, oh, we did a great job. Well, let's just stop doing it. Well, I just oh, yeah. Some of that is actually going to begin this fall. In the days and weeks ahead, you're going to see commercialization of some of these things, he said. Availability of those products would transition to the regular healthcare system. Oh, great. The regular healthcare system. Isn't that wonderful? So if you're someone like me who doesn't leave the house, triple vaccinated, wears a mask every time I go out, and then you get COVID, right? Because the government gave up. Now I get to go to the regular healthcare system and pay full price for COVID treatment. Isn't that great? Isn't that fucking wonderful? Isn't that such a cool thing? And I love that this article, this is from CNN, by the way, CNN Health. Oh, this is what we want to show people about how to live a healthy lifestyle. And we'll give them this information. Jesus, fuck. Jesus. I love this. You'd get it from your doctor or from a hospital. This phrase has always triggered me. As a poor person, as someone who's always been gutter trash in the fucking class society here, right? The your doctor thing. I every time I read, it's on commercials all the time. Ask your doctor. It's on, it's in television. The implication that everyone in this country just has a doctor. You ever think about that? I'm going to do a poll in the chat. Do you have a doctor? Would you say that, let me ask my doctor about this. I'm just curious. Because I've never had a doctor. I've been to the doctor several times and maybe had like, you know, like whatever. But I've never had like a doctor that I can call without spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fucking dollars. You know what I mean? So this idea that it's just like, oh, the average, I think I read an article that was like 100 million Americans don't have like a primary care or something. But like this, oh yeah, just ask your doctor for the COVID treatment. Oh, really? Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask my doctor that I don't fucking have. Oh, great. It's like, updated boosters available next month. In the spring, the Biden administration asked Congress for $10 billion to fund additional pandemic response efforts, but a deal to pass the funding stalled. Oh, really? Now, note, again, the language here. The language from CNN. Who wrote this? What genocidal neo-Nazi freak wrote this shit? Brenda Goodman? Hopefully not related to Saul Goodman. But again, this genocidal maniac is tweeting, or is writing this fucking shit. In the spring, the Biden administration asked Congress for $10 billion to fund continued pandemic response efforts, but a deal to pass the funding stalled. So that is like obfuscation is putting that very lightly. What happened? Does anyone remember? Right. Okay. So Joe Biden put a bill, right? Put a budget bill or whatever, right? For multiple things, funding the war in Ukraine, funding COVID response, right? And then he decoupled COVID response from the Ukraine response. And then Republicans, of course, only voted for the Ukraine thing. And then, of course, COVID was left on the table because Joe Manchin doesn't care. But that's not stalling. That's Joe Biden deliberately and the Democratic Party deliberately removing COVID-19 response funding from the bill. It didn't stall. There was no stalling. To imply that it's stalled is like, you know, you put the car keys in and then the car doesn't start. Like, what can you do, right? That's not this situation. It didn't stall. They just chose not to do it. They chose not to do it. There's no stalling. But of course, if you don't keep up with the news, you're going to read this and go like, oh, well, Joe Biden tried to do something. He ain't got to do. Oh, wow. Right? Like, Jesus, fuck. Jha said the funding stalemate forced officials to repurpose money from other efforts, like building up supplies of tests and protective equipment for the strategic national stockpile. Oh, yeah, we don't need a strategic national stockpile of tests and PPE. No. Let's get rid of all that. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Officials plan to use that money to buy updated vaccine booster shots to protect against BA4 and BA5 coronavirus subvariants, which Jha said would be ready in early to mid-September. I would like to get to a point where every adult in America who wants a vaccine can get one. No. No, this idea that it's everybody who wants a vaccine. Motherfucker, and I will not stop demanding this. Grab your belts, go to the fucking thrift store. You know how they have the belt rack at the fucking thrift store? Buy them all and tie these fucking morons down and force vaccinate them. That's the only way out of this pandemic. It's been the only way out of this pandemic since it started. It will only always be the only way out of this pandemic. We can't just fucking, we're just going to let some people not vaccinate themselves, and then a new variant's going to emerge in those populations after it rips through and kills a bunch of people, and then it's going to affect the other people who actually decide to get the vaccine, and then we're going to go through the eternal loop. But guess what? This government doesn't give a shit. This government doesn't care. We are living through a genocide right now. 1 million dead motherfuckers in this country alone. And that's a significant undercount, right? Millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people with permanent disabilities as a result of this pandemic. And they're still pretending like, if you had better once, shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking prick. These are genocidal neo-Nazi freaks. I want you to understand this. This is genocide. This is eugenics. This is purposefully, knowledgeably targeting disabled populations for extermination without having to build a gas chamber. That's what this is. Anyone, if you want to try to convince me otherwise, you will have a very difficult time to do so. You're telling me the White House isn't aware of what demographics are dying most from COVID? You're telling me they just don't know? They have no idea that disabled people are the primary denomination of folks that are dying in this pandemic? They just don't know? They don't know that it's primarily, as far as racial demographics, more black people than white people are dying, right? They don't know that? Really? You're telling me the White House doesn't have access to this information? The White House pandemic coordinator doesn't know this? Of course they know this, and that's part of the scam. They get to kill all the people of color, they get to kill all the undesirables, kill all the poor people, kill all the disabled people, but wait, whoops, we're gonna create an entire new class of millions of new disabled people. So guess what? The calculation didn't work so well, right? This country is fucking stupid. This is a dumb shit fuck country. A dumb shit fuck ass country. Now again, I'm glad a new booster is coming out. That's good. Oh, a bad flu season is expected. Really? Okay, so let me get this straight. So we've done nothing about COVID. We declared victory. Then we did nothing about it again when a new variant came, then declared victory. Then a new variant came, we did nothing, declared victory. Then a new variant came, we did nothing, we declared victory. Then a new variant came, we did nothing, we declared victory. And now a bad flu season is expected? Whoa. Holy shit! Holy moly! Ja urged all Americans to get the new boosters once they become available. He stressed that the fall and winter could be tough in the United States if the flu makes a comeback as is expected. Oh, really? Wow. It could be tough. It could be tough. Wow. It could be? It could be tough? I want to remind everyone the last couple winters we had throughout this pandemic. Reminder, after Joe Biden won the election, he was like, we got to prepare for a dark winter. And then Donald Trump did this whole thing where he's going to try to kill as many people as he can before the office is before he leaves office, right? Then Joe Biden gets into office, right? And then, we're going to fix the world, declares victory 3 times, right? And then wintertime comes, Omicron surge, million cases a day, again, hundreds of thousands of dead motherfuckers. Didn't we hit an absurd amount of deaths per day or something, like 3,500 deaths per day on average, in January or something? And now you're telling me we've done nothing. We declared victory 4 more times. And all of a sudden, it's going to get any better? No, of course not, motherfucker. How many times do we have to declare victory? 30 more times? Should we just spam the fucking victory button? Seriously, I'm asking, how many more times is the U.S. going to declare victory before we actually start doing something about this fucking shit? This idea that Joe Biden, I literally cannot believe that Joe Biden has declared victory from the pandemic, 5 different times. To me, that's absurd. The moment you feel compelled to do it a second time, you've already failed. You know what I mean? This is sad. This country is sad. It's a genocidal, neo-Nazi freak fest. I don't know what else to tell you. What person would have all of this information, right, and decide, you know what, let's do nothing? Other than a genocidal neo-Nazi. I can't think of another person. You're telling me a liberal who believes that all people are treated equally would allow a pandemic to primarily kill people of color, disabled people, elderly people? I mean, maybe a liberal would. I don't know. Liberals are kind of fucking crazy. But I don't know, man. Seems like eugenics to me. Hey, maybe I'm a little crazy. I don't know. But how many family members need to die before something? How many friends need to die? I read an article I don't know when it was. My perception of time is very flawed. But I read an article at some point that said that almost every workplace in America has had someone die from COVID. Or become severely ill and then can't work anymore or something. But almost every workplace in America, every Wendy's, every McDonald's, right? Every Subway, they've all had someone over the last 3 years, have to leave work because either they died or you got permanently disabled. Right? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that fucking insane? And now I'm gonna shift this over to the stupid fucking Americans for a bit. I know a lot of people don't like when I talk about the fucking voters, the electorate, the people. Oh, they don't know any better. They don't know any better. They're just walking around. Their school system never taught them anything. They gotta go to work and die. You know what? Now again, if you're like 20 years old, whatever. Okay, you don't need to be a super genius at 20 years old, okay? But I just want to say, if you have a kid, I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 15. I don't care if you're 25. I don't care if you're 20. If you have a child, you have a responsibility to make sure that child grows up in a world that is safe for them. If you have a child and you don't learn about the world that you're bringing a life into, you don't study like the government of the country that you brought your child into against their will. You don't educate your child on how to combat this horrible fucking society that we live in. I personally think you're evil. I think you're evil. I don't care how old you are. If you are going to have a child and you are not properly educated in stuff like, I don't know, wearing a mask, taking fucking medicine when you're sick, getting a vaccine before you get sick, if you're not educated in this, you shouldn't be having kids. It's that simple. You are an evil motherfucker. If you choose to bring a life into this world and you equip that life with nothing, that is tantamount to child abuse and torture. That's my opinion. But again, we have so many stupid fucking people in this country. Stupid fucking people. Stupid fucking people that don't wear masks in a pandemic because, oh, my face itches. My face itches. I can't wear a mask. I can't do it. Goddamn, my cheeks get hot. I can't wear a mask. Ooh. You ever hear these fucking excuses these people come up with? Jesus fuck. I mean, I am sick of this stupid fucking country. I am sick of this stupid fucking country. Stupid fucking country, man. Holy shit. What a stupid fucking country. Holy hell.